Welcome to BumbleKast Live. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Kraus.
Hi, it's live. The BumbleKast is live, and we said okay, you can ask your questions now, and the floodgates immediately opened. So I don't know if we have any more room for standard questions. You guys might have already taken all the slots before we could even start. Crazy.
Thank you for waiting at least.
At least, yes, Jen says thank you for waiting to ask your questions instead of, gunning it immediately, like 5 minutes beforehand or more.
I still think this is a record to run out of standard slots before the show even starts.
I think so. We might have done that last month too. I don't remember exactly. It's
who can keep track?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Either way.
Well, we'll get through as many as we can. Super chats are still welcome, but we will prioritize new questions or new askers. Try to get everybody in at least once, but we'll do what we can. Any super chats we don't get through tonight, we will roll over to the next available recording session. Thank you to Jennifer R. and Professor Rye for managing all the questions that are coming in. And I guess here we go.
Thanks to Cassie for updating and keeping people on tap on the socials and helping moderate the chat and everything. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you.
It's been a few months. You think I would remember that by now, but nope.
Oh well, it's fine. We'll pick up each other's slack. It's fine. That's what we're here for, right? All right. Let's not waste any more time and get started off with this standard question. We'll start off with standard questions, and Pedanticat wins. He gets first dibs. So here we go. If Belle sacrificed herself to save the world, how do you think Eggman and Sage would react to her death? Do you think any part of Eggman would be upset with him not fully understanding why?
Maybe. There might be a kind of, I could have used that asset later. Why do I feel especially poignant about this? That's obnoxious. Moving on. Sage, it's going to be entirely dependent on how much of a relationship they build before that happens. It could be that she's just an odd anomaly, an outlier that she is aware of and, wishes she understood more. If they create a bond, I think she will actually be a little upset and have to, investigate what does that mean? This is a new emotion. What does it mean for her? How does she experience it? How does she get through it?
All right, here's a question from the last baby man. Body swap time. Oh no! One of Eggman's machines he devised for Sonic misfires and swaps Clove's brain with Thunderbolt's. They have to stay like this for a week. How does Eggman deal with this?
Bold of you to assume he's going to notice anything changed. Like he aimed that thing at Sonic. Why didn't it work? Oh, well, back to work. And Clove is all of a sudden very clingy and very supportive and way more interested in talking to him directly. That seems a little odd. He thought he put her at like the back row because she was handling things solo. Whatever.
Yeah.
Still annoying. Meanwhile, Thunderbolt is very quietly doing her best to dismantle every gain that she has made up to this point. And the staff is also really liking her all of a sudden. Wow, she's so much nicer now.
Wow.
Less beatings and electrocutions and cussing us out. Don't know what happened, but we like the new boss.
Wow. Thunderbolt cusses people out? Wow. Good to know when she's not in a family-friendly book.
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right.
We'll say that, when she gets that irate, though, her electronics spark, so it just turns into like garbled static noise. It's like the censorship out of the Scott Pilgrim movie. There we go.
Okay. Question from Madam Mobius. Ian Flynn, as someone who's a big fan of Sonic and your work, what's your opinion on Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg?
I never got to play it. And I'm not really super familiar with it. I wish I had, because it looked neat. It looked new and different and original, and didn't quite get the mechanics myself, but again, I didn't play it and I didn't get too deep into it. So I don't know. Maybe one day when I have free time, I'll watch a long play of it and go, oh, okay, that's what's going on.
Yeah. I don't think you were the only person who didn't play it. There's a reason why there hasn't been a second one. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was the mechanics. I don't know if it was the platform. I don't know if it was the fact that it was so different. Maybe that scared people away, which is too bad if that's the case.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. All right, question from Red Rebel. Is the reason the Battlebird Armada haven't returned is because they're too ashamed of being beaten single-handedly by a 6-year-old orphan with a birth defect?
Birth defect or advantage? Given what he can do with that thing, I'd say advantage.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sure, if that's what you want to use for head canon, that works.
Sure. I mean, that is mildly embarrassing. Although everyone's like real young in this world, apparently, so who knows? And here's one from Ethan T. We saw each Shadowverse's version of Green Hill. I'm curious about the rest of their South Islands. What would each Shadowverse's version of the Sonic 1 zones plus the Sonic Forces city be like?
I mean, New York's whole thing was that it was conquered by the Chaos Council. So I'd imagine everything's been paved over and urbanized.
Mm-hmm.
You can find some of Marble Garden structures left, but they're in the basements of buildings or have been retrofitted into the architecture. Maybe it runs on geothermal power because of all the lava. Spring Yard's just more obnoxious than it already is. It doesn't really need that big of a change. We're not going to go through every single zone for every single shatter space. Good Lord. I mean, no place is a bit of a non-starter because everything's underwater. So everything is basically a horrible version of Labyrinth Zone. Labyrinth Zone with fire, Labyrinth Zone with springs, Labyrinth Zone with those obnoxious fans that blow you backwards away from that bubble that you desperately need. Oh God, the counter music. And Boss Cage Maids was meant to be forested. So how do you, everything was a forest. Aggressively arboreal. So maybe ruins lost within the trees. Imagine Starlight Zone, but everything is just an interconnected woven branch system.
Yeah.
So that kind of just makes it Wood Zone, but that was never officially released, so never mind.
They never had an official. Wood Zone was never official, so I mean, why not make it official? Ish, in a way. All right, we ready to switch over to some super chats? I'm ready to switch over to some super chats.
Sure, you're driving.
All righty.
I'm just along for the ride.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get started off with these lovely folks who are crazy enough to give us money. Thank you. This one is from Load, and it's a bit of a loaded question. If you were allowed to, how would you subtly write Surge to be an anti-Semite and homophobic and practically a bigot in general, and don't say she hates everyone equally, because that ain't interesting?
If I was allowed to, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean...
If I had to, I wouldn't. Get somebody else to do that. It's a stupid idea. Absolutely not.
That's terrible. That's not a... No.
In past tense, dead.
No. All right, we got one from Mr. Wahoo77. What I mean earlier about everything on the BumbleKast being canon, is your answer to people's questions to clarify canon on the BumbleKast useful?
Depending on who you ask, debatably. I try to be as clear and straightforward as I can, but I am not the singular voice on what is canon, and what that can be changes as Sega decides what they want to do with the franchise. Stuff that I said, oh, this is the way things are 2 years ago, 3 years ago. How long have we been doing this show?
10 years almost.
Good God. Some of what I've said
9 years.
of, here's what it is and here's what their thinking was, is no longer relevant today because it's a company, it's an evolving brand, it changes over time. So I try to be more mindful of that when I give my answers, because I don't want to say this is how it is and then something changes down the line and that just causes more confusion. So again, I try to be accurate as best I can, but I'm also trying to temper how much I put out there because I am not the final voice on what any of this is.
Yeah. And we got a question from JCR1216. Tangle versus Sonic in a spicy food contest. Who wins?
Maybe Sonic. But she'd give him a run for his money.
They'd be running all right. In more ways than one. Hero Squad has a question. After realizing that the Dragon Balls were stolen from him, Team 4-star Vegeta yells so loud that it's heard everywhere, including the Sonic universe. How does everyone react to this at different points?
I mean, I guess it would be a general collective raising of the ear, and what is that?
What is that noise? What is
I mean, I'm tempted to just pull the joke they have from the Boo bits, where, I can feel that, I can taste that, I can hear that. What's that smell? But they already made that joke, so.
Yeah. Geo Knuckles has a question. We know Knuckles and Vector as green and red, but which chaotix would be black and yellow? Amy is pink, and would silver be blue? And which Turbo Zords would Nux Mighty and the Chaotix drive?
I was really confused here until the Zords came in. It's like, oh, this is another Power Rangers question.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whoever you want to be. I don't know the Turbo Rangers. I don't know what their colors symbolize or who their characters are, or even the Zords. I thought Turbo Rangers were cars instead of Zords.
They are. They're car Zords. They're still called Zords. They're always called Zords. They're always Zords. They're just different types of Zords.
Yeah, I mean, the dinosaurs and mythical creatures are better than cars. I'm sorry. I know folks like cars. There are interesting cars out there, but no car in the world is nearly as interesting as a Tyrannosaurus.
Well, I mean, that was the season of Super Sentai that was intended to be taking the piss out of Super Sentai in general. So,
and it certainly gets points for that.
I think that's probably why they went with boring cars.
And that's great. I love the joke, regardless.
Yes. Yeah. And one from Zach D. Mega Man meets Fleetway Sonic. How does it go?
Probably not the amicable makeup after the predetermined fight. Probably a lot more sass from Fleetway Sonic for the most part. And continued frustration on Rock's side. Not quite sure how that final fight's going to go because Super Sonic's a different beast altogether. Maybe Super Mega Man is running interference to protect everybody else as Super Sonic goes nuts and tears apart the Wily Machine X.
Yeah.
Egg Wily Machine X, excuse me. Beg your pardon.
All right. Next question is from Vineclad. You gave us a zombie apocalypse and a psychological thriller. What other horror genres would you want to explore with Sonic?
Nothing immediately springs to mind. I wasn't setting out to do a horror story necessarily with Metal Virus. It's just it was an interesting concept that I wanted to follow up on. But I didn't set out to say, "Ooh, I want to tell a horror story with Sonic." It's that the seed for a zombie story had been planted in my brain, and it, well, I guess took over and spread across a year and a half of books. Good God, even the concept was a zombie story. Psychological thriller ?
Mm-hmm.
Which one was that? Is that supposed to be imposter syndrome?
It might be.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. That wasn't how I was approaching it myself. I'm not approaching these with a dedicated, I want to tell G-rated horror stories. It was, this is how the story goes. Here's some tropes, and you kind of get it from the style.
Yeah.
Tropes.
Yeah. People are bringing up Scrapnik, but you didn't write Scrapnik.
No, that was Daniel Barnes.
Yes, you did not write that. Yeah, that's a different thing. A different writer. Not a different thing, but you know. Yeah. Question from KB. Qbot gets a new job as the spokesperson of the electronics store, H.H. Greg. He does H.H. Greg. There we go. Let's just say it correctly. Or wrongly. I don't know. How does he do as he promotes for the Christmas in July sale?
He means well. He really does. I mean, he learned the keywords and the sales pitches that were taught / programmed into him, but he has no ability to improvise on the spot. You know, I don't know. Tails says as he looks at the newest video card, what I have is already pretty good. Is this really going to be a significant upgrade? I don't know. They marked it down, so it can't be that good.
No.
Can I take it for a try run? Oh yeah, sure. Just head on out. Don't even worry about buying it. You'll bring it back, right?
Of course.
Right? Hello, Tails.
Poor Qbot. And we got a question from Oscar the Bearcat. Who would have the more spectacular rendition of Friend Like Me? Shara, an actual genie, or Knights?
Oh. Knights is way more playful.
Yeah.
Knights would get in there. They would really sell it. Shara would get stage fright.
You think so?
Yeah.
No. Oh, well. All right, let's do some standard questions for a bit. Crazy Glue has a question. Scourge and Fiona somehow find themselves bored enough to go out on a proper date, simply because there's nothing better to do. What would a genuine date night between them look like?
Maybe going through like your stereotypical tropes. Go to dinner, dress a little nicer, talk. And they're both really uncomfortable with this. This is not them. But they're kind of trying it on just to see how it feels, how it works. And this is how the normies do it.
Talking? That's gross.
And then, Scourge starts doing obnoxious things to the waiter, and Fiona finds that funny. And then eventually it just turns into full bedlam downtown. And then they're having a good time for realsies.
Good. As they should, dang it. Here's one from Vixers. God's gift to women arrives in Sonic's world, Scout TF2. How did the cast react? And will Shadow geek out over finally meeting what he acknowledges as the true ultimate life form?
It'll be miraculous if the scout gets away without his heart being ripped out.
Wow, Shadow actually kills.
Well, I mean, depending on the order of events, Vector may beat him to it if he hits on Vanilla.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Don't do that, Scout. You...
Hey there, bunny lady. You want to make like rabbits? Shadow, hold my chaos cola. Oh, look at this tough guy coming over here. Oh, my arm! He bit off all my arm! There's no arm left! Oh, God, help!
Yeah, you didn't need that arm. Next question is from James L. If Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, or Shadow had any inside-out-like emotions, which would be their main emotions for all of them?
Wow. Okay, hold on. We need to re-examine the scope of this.
Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Shadow.
Sonic, Tails, Amy, Shadow. What is their primary driving emotion?
Yes.
Okay. Never actually saw Inside Out, so I don't know.
I have not seen it either. Nope.
Yeah, I know that the emotions are personified, but
yes,
Sonic and Amy would be joy primarily, I think.
Yeah, probably.
And Tails has.
What are the emotions in Inside?
See, I can think of the colors, but I can't think of who they're supposed to be. And there's, so many emotions to be had. Saying it's, a distinct 5 every time seems a little silly.
Yeah.
Having in Tails confidence and self-doubt constantly wrestling for the controls. And Shadow's just anger. Like a laid back anger who doesn't really want to push any of the buttons or drive, but he's there in the captain seat.
Shadow is just rage all the time, but suppressed rage.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry.
Yeah. Let's see. You got joy, fear.
Nah.
Yeah. Disgust, sadness.
Nah.
Yeah. Is it just those 5? Feels like there's a lot more emotions than that, but I don't know. What do I know? I guess that's why they had to do it as a sequel, huh? All right, James L has a question. Nope, that's the one we just did. Super Sharkbait has a question. In Racing Transformed, if you get electrocuted as Sonic or Shadow, it reveals they have bones in their quills. Though Transformed isn't canon material, do the hedgehogs canonically have quill bones?
They do?
Apparently. Are you asking me? I don't know. I don't.
Well, I'm putting it out to the crowd. I'll have to look up a screenshot of that later. That's disturbing. I'm going to chalk that up to just a visual gag. Like Marge Simpson having bunny ears under her hairdo in the Simpsons arcade game.
Yeah. That's funny, though. All right, and we got a question from Mr. Yeet123. My friend and I debated if a robotic furry still qualifies as a furry given it's metal with no fur. So I ask you, is Metal Sonic just a robot hedgehog, or is he Dr. Eggman's Sonic OC persona? Do not steal.
So in the lead up, I was going to say, if its basis is an anthropomorphic animal, I would still say it counts as a furry by principle. But if you roboticize it, then it's just like a subset of furries. Call it a shiny.
Okay, a shiny.
But Metal Sonic,
not a clangy.
Kyle, family show. Do not tempt me into certain answers.
I don't even know what he could have said.
Anyway, Metal Sonic is a corruption of a furry character, but is not himself supposed to be one. So this is turning into way more of a philosophical question than I was prepared for. You know, you could probably make a case for either. I can't definitively say.
Well, I can say that this next question was already asked by someone else. Someone's trying to get in here, trying to get their question in twice. Tisk.
Sneaky.
Yeah, just for that, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Superchats. This one's from Professor Scruffy Matt. If Wily had teamed up with a different version of Eggman, such as Modern or Boom Eggman, would their friendship have still dissolved?
Boom
Eggman arguably probably would have dissolved faster.
Well, I mean, Modern Eggman is essentially who was in Worlds Collide.
Yeah.
Boom. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, Boom Eggman, though, seems like he's too incompetent even for Wily to put up with.
Maybe. Or maybe he's too clingy.
Yeah, or that.
Like, he doesn't want to focus on the world domination. He wants to, play video games and build robots and, have sleepovers.
He just wants to be Wily's bro.
Yeah, he just wants to hang out and do stuff. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole other dimension that they can conquer, but they just made their dimension. Yeah, it's pre-conquered. Let's go play Jenga.
Yeah.
Hey, Wily, you want to make a Jenga man? And Wily's just starting to glare at him, and it's like, I hate you because now I'm actually thinking of how to make that work.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm being asked if Worlds Collide Eggman was a bit more homicidal than the standard modern Eggman.
No, I imagine.
Nah.
Modern Eggman blew up the entire planet to awaken an elder god just to fuel his theme park. He put a gun to Amy's head to lure Sonic into a trap so he could launch him into space and blow him up. He's not a good person. He is a bad man. He is freaking ruthless.
He blew up half the moon because Shadow called him a mean name on Twitter. Wait, that's not what happened. Never mind. Might of Gebera has a question. Do I have approval to make a video reading Sonic Channel stories on my channel?
I don't know, man. I ain't gonna stop you.
You didn't have anything to do with the Sonic Channel stories.
No. I mean, I would advise against monetizing reading official content, but if you want to just put it up there for giggles, I don't see there being an issue.
Yeah, pretty much. Frozen Apple Juice has a question. Kirby crossover time again. Megalore shows Eggman Merry Megaland, and the doc shows him Eggman Land. What do they think of the others' parks? What notes, praises, and criticisms do they have?
Not as familiar with what Megalore has done, but I imagine the two of them would generally approve of each other. Maybe Eggman thinks Magalore's work could stand a little more menace, maybe a few more serrated edges, open magma pits. Megalore in turn would say those are fun, certainly, but maybe dial those back a little bit.
I guess. Where's the fun in that, though?
I mean, I think what it came down to, it'd just be a different taste in color palettes, and they agree to disagree. It's their own personal styles.
Okay. It's their own personal styles, and they won't change?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
And then, Eggman's like, hey, do you have any kind of eldritch horrors that I could use to attack a certain blue hedgehog? Magalore's like, come into my shop.
I have you. I have you. Got you. I got you, bro. Question from Bug. Where were you when the first Sonic trailer dropped? Like which one?
Like the ugly Sonic
Like
movie trailer?
The first movie trailer, or the first trailer ever for Sonic the Hedgehog, which I don't think the first game would have had a trailer. Might have had a commercial.
I don't remember that far back. Goodness.
The first ever Sonic the Hedgehog commercial. Where was I? I don't know. I didn't know about Sonic until after Sonic 1 was out, at least.
Yeah. But the movie, I think it was at home. You just watched it on YouTube and just kind of let out a slow, sad sigh.
I think I saw it. Oh, I think I saw it in the Discord server. At BumbleKast Discord. I mean, yeah. Would have been about that.
But then they course corrected, and here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Yep, it's true. Crazy. And Lord Van Oscar has a question. It had been noted that in shatter spaces, Rouges seem to adopt the Tailses, Rebel and Nine being the exception. Was this intentional?
I don't know.
Awkward. Jedi Pony has a question. What would a rider's outfit for Mephiles be? Would he have one? Would he bother?
He should have two. Like one with his more solid puppet form, and then one for his footless geode with a grudge with everybody look. For the puppet mode, basically just give him Shadow's look. Rider's Shadow's look. Just with a different color palette. That looked pretty sick.
Yeah.
And for Super Pointy Boy, how do you dress up something with that many facets? Maybe just give him like this long flowing scarf that kind of diminishes into smoke at the end. So you're not entirely sure if it's actually solid or if it's something he's conjured upon himself.
Oh, well, there you go.
That'd be kind of neat.
And we got a question from DDR Master M. Sonic and Tangle Fusion. What hijinks ensue?
All the hijinks.
So many hijinks.
Yep.
The speed and the tailness. Oh boy.
I mean, just latch onto something solid, spin dash back for full tension, launch, redirect, use that tail for extra ballast to, further change direction while in mid-flight. Good God, it's a living UFO. Humming attack into one enemy, grab another one mid-flight, slingshot back to hit that one, redirect for another homing attack. They would never stop moving.
No.
It'd be a perpetual motion critter.
The real question is, what would their fusion name be?
Tanic?
Tanic? Oh boy, like Titanic?
Because Songle sounds weird.
They're going to sink the world, huh?
I'm going to say Tanic because I don't like Songle.
Tonic.
It's hard to say.
Tanic at the disco.
Yeah, God.
The other suggestion I'm receiving is Doug.
Doug?
Or Jeff. Yes.
Sure, why not?
Those are my favorites so far. Jeff. Bob. George. Scurvy Pirate Dog has a question. So, Metal Virus figure, huh? Cool, right? Anyway, Deadpool joins the Chaotix. How does it go?
Okay, yeah. Did not see that figure coming. Holy crap, dude. So excited. That's just
That's cool. Yeah.
It raises so many questions. Like, are we going to get more comic inspired merchandise? We getting a Tangle figure someday? I don't know.
Please.
I'm not part of that department.
Please.
I am not part of that decision making process. I don't know. But I want it. I bought all the toys. Anyway, Deadpool, part of Team Chaotix, attempts to shoot Charmy within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Is given the TF2 scout treatment by Vector, regrows his arm.
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes in, realizes that Charmy is the catalyst for all obnoxious hijinks and decides that he loves the child now and will teach him all the Donnie words.
I was gonna say, like, eventually it's going to come back around where, like, Charmy and Deadpool are best friends.
It will be cyclical. Like, he will run out of patience and then realize that he's just a little Weisenheimer troublemaker anyway. But, you know, what's wrong with a repeating gag?
Yeah. Yeah. Deadpool knows what's up. All right, Twilord has a question. You're hired to do Gajinka Sonic as Magical Boys inside DC Comics. It must be confined to one mega city. How do you reimagine Angel Island or the Ark? Or how do you reimagine Angel Island and the Ark? Sorry.
I feel like I just had a stroke. What?
That's where I'm confused. Like, is this like reimagining Angel Island as the mega city or the Ark as the mega city? I'm so lost.
What does that have to do with them being Gajinkas and magical boys?
I don't know.
All of these elements can be connected, sure, but it's like,
This is almost 3 questions in one, almost.
And yet it's not quite one.
Yeah, I'm a little lost.
And in the DC, why is it in the DC universe?
I don't know. Why not?
Why do we have magical boys in the DC universe?
Why don't we have more magical boys in the DC universe, just in general, to be fair? I mean,
all right,
that's
another question.
I don't know.
Does
man.
Shazam count as a magical boy?
Sure.
I mean, he's got the magic word in the transformation sequence.
Yes.
And it is magic based. So,
He is magic. Yes. Shazam is magic. He's a magic boy. Let him be magic.
All right. Gajinka Magical Boy Sonic characters.
Yes.
They're their own particular team. Angel Island is just an airborne variant of Themyscira.
Okay.
You didn't know it was there. It's hidden in magic clouds. You can't find it easily until the plot needs you to.
Mm-hmm.
The Ark is something that was built 50 years ago, and Lex Luthor finds it and decides that it's going to be a great new toy to destroy Superman, because maybe the Eclipse Cannon can actually shoot him down.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you make those things connect? I don't know.
You put them in
That's
one.
why fanfic exists. Go for it.
You put them in one mega city. I don't know. What is this, Mega City 1 from Judge Dredd? But that's a different comic company.
Unless the Ark is the mega city that's like in launch base zone on Angel Island.
Yes.
That's weird to think about.
That is weird.
It's also kind of funny to just think of this giant mechanical Eggman face on the edge of an island looking outwards. Hello!
Yeah.
And then it fires the Eclipse Cannon and the whole island goes backwards.
Oh no. Oh no. Master Emerald's actually kryptonite. Oh boy. Oh boy. Supersonic fan has a question. Sonic Boom episode idea. What if Knuckles somehow became a genius, like Charlie from Flowers for Algernon? What would his friends and Eggman think?
I am shocked that isn't actually an episode.
I mean, it probably would have been had the show kept going.
That seems like a very easy season 1 when you have Flowers for Knuckles.
Yeah, I just hope it would be less tragic than Flowers for Algernon, ultimately.
I would say, of course it is, but I mean, it's Sonic Boom. They can do whatever they want.
They could go like weirdly tragic.
Or you could also make it poignant. You know, Knuckles degrades back to his normal self and kind of is unhappy that he isn't as, super smart as he was. SMRT smart,
Mm-hmm. Some people are saying that they're pretty sure this was an episode. I don't know if it was.
I can't remember that specifically.
It was Knuckles from a different dimension? Okay.
That doesn't count.
No,
That's different.
No, that's a different Knuckles.
This is Knuckles getting hit with the big brain wave, you know?
This is getting
Our Knuckles.
Yes, this is Knuckles. This is Boom Knuckles. Except now he's suddenly smart.
You know, he's correcting Tails on his math, and Tails thinks that's pretty impressive at first, and then about the 5th time over, he's like, seething, because he has one role in this team, and Knuckles is taking it away. Well, fine, he's going to be the buff one, and then turns into a subplot of Tails struggling to get gains super fast. I guess the final confrontation is like a Jeopardy parody between Knuckles, Tails, and Eggman.
Oh no, Titan Tails for real. No, don't do it, Ian. Don't make it real.
Sonic's the Alec Trebek, and he's reading off the questions, but he doesn't know the answer anyway. So everyone buzzes in with their answer, and Sonic's like, that's probably right. I don't know. Next.
A very special episode about Tails and steroids. Oh boy. So, and here's one from Cameron. Here's one from Cameron D. What's your opinion on non-sympathetic villains who have a genuine love interest / relationship, but not redeeming, writing wise or viewing wise?
That's fine. It's interesting. I mean, it humanizes them to a degree, which makes them more engaging, but they're still awful people. So hopefully they get their comeuppance.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they're both awful. That helps.
Maybe. Or if the other one is not, there's some tragedy to be had there. Like, why are you wasting your time with this Scuzzlord?
Yeah.
Bad things can happen to good people. Good things can happen to bad people. It's not morally right or wrong. It's an interesting story.
Yes, indeed.
Potentially interesting story. It could be, poorly executed, but we're working with broad definitions here.
Yeah, pretty much. Here's one from LOZ Fan and Knuckles. Do Sonic and his friends, the Hero Cast, like humans? Would they be friends with a human?
Oh, sure.
I mean,
lots of examples of it.
Are they not friends with Professor Pickle?
Yeah, they're friends with Professor Pickle. And Sonic got along with Elise, no problem. First thing, I'm sure Amy's friends with everybody. It's like that's her true superpower. She can make friends with anybody. Knuckles doesn't like anybody, but that's just him.
Shadow has no friends.
He's secretly friends with Amy.
Shadow has friends. Shadow actually is friends with everybody. He just doesn't admit it. He doesn't want to admit that that he has friends, that he likes anybody, or that he actually cares. But he does. And Sonic Fighter 09 has a question. Where are Ares, Kronos, Rhea, and Oranos?
All grouped together.
They are the Starfall Islands.
They are in the ocean.
They are all at the Starfall Islands. That's where they are.
Somewhere in Sonic's world.
They're over there. Don't go there. It probably won't end well for you if you did. Seaman has a question. Uh-oh. At the Olympics, everyone has learned that Bowser Jr. caught Eggman kissing Waluigi. What happens next?
I mean, he wins the gold for kissing.
Is kissing an Olympic sport?
And that's the most difficult one to do.
Realistic kissing simulator? Is that what this is? Who gets
I'm tempted to call it an endurance sport, but that's probably towing the line. Let's move on.
But who gets silver in this instance?
I don't know. Insert your ship here. They get silver.
Blaze gets silver. See, it's the joke. Ian, come on.
Now, I'm already really tired of this whole, Silver and Blaze is this thing being pushed by the fortune cards. Like, no, You don't understand tarot. You're getting mad over nothing. I'm so freaking tired of shipping. I'm like actively cranky
Well,
over all the shipping nonsense that poisons every bit of discourse and discussion over this fandom.
tell us how you really feel.
No, this is a family show.
You were getting applause from the peanut gallery over here.
Thank you.
Onyxodon has a question. Hank Hill from King of the Hill goes to the IDW universe. What happens? Does he tell him what? Does he sell... Does he tell him what? Does he sell lots of propane and propane accessories?
Of course he does.
That's all he's there
a professional, gosh darn it.
for.
He's just gonna go over to like the Burger Man shop in Station Square and tell him what.
He's gonna listen to Sonic music and be like, "It's all toilet sounds."
He's gonna be a trifle, embarrassed when he's trying to carry on a conversation with the Burger Man statue who's not responding. And he's kind of taking offense.
Yeah.
I don't mean to pry, but the greeter outside's very rude. Sir, that's a statue. What?
You have dishonored propane. Dove has a question. How would Rock feel if he ended up on Bomber World? What does he do when he sees all the robots blowing each other up just for fun?
Sorry, I missed the first part of that.
How would Rock feel if he ended up on Bomber World? So, Mega Man.
Yeah.
Crossover with Bomberman, basically.
Sees everybody blowing each other up. Horrified at first. Until he realizes, and I'm taking a wild guess here, I don't know much about Bomberman universe, but it's all in good fun. Nobody's actually hurt. Nobody dies.
Yeah.
It's just recreational explosives. And then he's like, oh.
I know about
Can
these.
I try?
They die, apparently, but I think they come back. Some of them, at least.
Like, does it count as like dying, or is it just like momentary inconvenience? Like, is respawning part of their lore? I don't know.
Oh, they just get knocked out.
Knocked out? Okay, well, then that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
A little alarmed at how rough they're playing, but as long as nobody's getting hurt, and it's all good fun.
Yes.
Maybe he'll give it a shot. Now I want to see.
Yeah.
Now I want to see Mega Man with Bomberman colors.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Mega Man crossover with Bomberman. Bomb Man gets jealous when he comes back. That should have been me.
Nah, go for a full crossover. Throw in Mega Man, Roll, Bomb Man, Napalm Man. Who else was a explosive one?
Solar Man. Put them all in. They're all explodey boys. Heat Man. Why not? Put them all in there. Turbo K has a question. Wise Man has to take a sick day and leaves REM in charge of Nightmare World. How well does REM do at being the Queen of Nightmares, and how do the Nightmaren, Riala, Jackal, Puffy, etc., react to the new leadership?
I imagine they're not quite as fond of her softer approach at nightmares. At most, people are getting stress dreams. Like, instead of any kind of night terrors or actual nightmares, it's like, I forgot to file my taxes. I forgot to set my alarm.
No,
I forgot to feed the cat. Like, you can dial this up a little bit, And she's like, I don't want to make it too bad. Well, what about Eggman? You're having him like dream about eating his own feet. Yes, well, that's Eggman.
Yeah. That's fine. We can make him dream about like whatever disgusting thing. It's all good. Here's a question from It's Hobo Joe. What do you think it is about Sonic that's made it one of the only video game series to have such a long-lasting comic series? Could another series do the same? And why haven't they?
I'm sure there's a myriad of factors. One of it is, and this is not, blowing smoke. This is legit. Sonic fans are some of the most dedicated fans in any industry.
Yeah.
I don't just mean any media. I mean any industry. Sonic fans are within the top 5 in terms of loyalty and commitment and staying power. It's incredible. And that might just be unique to Sonic itself. I am not well versed enough in the harder data over the years on the various aspects of it to give you like a full like economical or sociological analysis of it. But Sonic fans are just hardcore. That's all there is to it. And part of it too is Sonic is a wonderfully accessible franchise. It appeals in a broad range to a broad audience. It is an extremely fertile ground for exploration and experimentation in terms of media and story, so it can remain fresh. And it might just be that it's that just solid of a franchise. I mean, I would certainly think other could make the attempt, but I don't know. It would be interesting to see someone who has a more analytical understanding of it to weigh in on it. I'm a completely different view of it to really say with any kind of authority.
I really think a lot of it also boils down to support from the publisher and from their side, because like it doesn't seem like there's really any long-term desire for most other companies to have a comic spin-off of their franchise and keep it going as much as Sega has. Sega has had this desire to have a continuously running Sonic comic basically since 1991, if not, well, I was going to say earlier, but well, maybe it might have been thought about before games even came out, but just basically like they really, really wanted to have that. So, and I guess there's obviously enough demand there to keep it going, and there's enough of a reason to keep it going, so they keep it going. Why not? And question from the Hobgoblin. A battle of the bands between Sonic, Fang, and Vector for a treasure, which each gets 3 bandmates. Who plays what instruments and what's Vector's prize? Rouge, Honey, and Mika are available.
Rouge, Honey, and Mika have their own band.
Those 3, yes. I was gonna say.
Like Mika on front vocals, Rouge on secondary vocals and keytar, Honey on drums.
Yes. It's all, it fits. There you go.
Vector, I mean, he's got a band already with the Chaotix.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Vector's just the Chaotix.
They're an eclectic sound, but
yeah,
they're committed to the bit. They got like 5 whole subscribers on YouTube. Can't let down their fans.
BBB, Charmy.
Fang's roped Bean and Bark into it.
Oh yeah.
It's even more eclectic. Because right now Bean's in his kazoo phase.
Oh boy.
You were playing bongos yesterday, and that is yesterday. Today he is kazoo.
It's true.
Bark just knows symbols. That's all he knows.
Cowbell. And
But
go ahead.
Fang's carrying most of the sound because the Marvelous Queen is outsetted with a full synth set. Like, he can make any sound out of that thing.
Yeah.
And Sonic, he calls in some favors and brings up his old crew. You got Max and Mach and Sharp. Vector would
Okay.
be back, but he's got his own band, his own gig thing going on. So, it's a reunion tour with them.
Wow. And what's Vector's prize? Is this assuming that Vector would that the Chaotix win?
The venue was just ready for their sound. Okay?
I guess so. Sonic forgets his own siblings. That's true. Yeah.
And their prize is a coupon book to Medburger.
Man, not even a free burger. You think we can afford that? Frost the Hobbadon has a question. To Ian, just for fun, how would Sonic and the cast, both IDW and Freedom Fighters, react to seeing Zoro from One Piece cut the giant mountain-sized pika in half? Who would have the funniest reaction?
Zoro's the guy with the swords, I'm assuming. Like, he holds one in his teeth.
It seems like a thing. I don't know.
And there's a mountain-sized pika?
Pika? P-I-C-A?
Pika. Okay. I don't know One Piece. I know virtually nothing about One Piece.
Why is there only one piece?
I'm assuming this is a incredible feat of skill and dexterity and power.
Maybe.
To which I would imagine most of the cast within the proper context would be awed and impressed and even intimidated.
Shocked.
Sonic would kind of nod along going, nice. I could do that. I just don't need a sword,
Of course. Sonic. All right, let's move on. And actually, we haven't done some standard questions in a while. We're at about the top of the 1 hour mark, so let's hop on back over to some standards. Here's one from Clara V. What if the Dragon Ball universe and Sonic universe were fused, like they live on the same Earth? How would events like the Black Arm or Saiyan invasion play out?
I mean, it would work out enough. There are animal people in the Dragon Ball world, so I know that it's not like I know what they are, but we're just gonna say that's the excuse. And the cop-out answer would be they stay the same because they happen in different regions of the world.
That is a cop-out.
Oh no, Sonic didn't get involved with the Saiyan invasion because he didn't know what was happening in that set of Badlands over there.
Mm-hmm.
He finds out later and he's like, nerds, missed it.
Missed out.
That's a lame answer, I know. It doesn't really work for the Black Arms invasion either because they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be much shorter. The minute they figure out the Black Comet is the thing where all the aliens are popping out, that's a Kamehameha away from being debris.
Annihilated. Yeah, basically it would go very quickly.
I am now imagining Shadow showing up to the Saiyan invasion, getting overconfident, letting his guard down and getting Yamcha'd first thing. That'd be funny. It'd make people so mad. But then you would have him getting training from King Kai and being all grumpy next to Piccolo. That's a fun visual. Come on. Come on.
This is where I watch Maria die, Piccolo.
Just Maria? No, everyone on the Ark. All of them?
Question from Cherry Sapphire Cherry. Where did the Sonic the Fighters clones go? It's not like they're robots. They're living people who are out there. So what's their life like now? Not asking for canon. I'm here for a laugh.
They were Flash clones by shoddy egg tech, so they all popped like soap bubbles.
Okay. How boring.
Alternatively, they all packed up on a rocket and flew into the DBZ world.
There you go. Question from Happy Times. How would Team Sonic handle Dave the intern? Words, Kyle, words. How would Team Sonic handle Dave the intern unlocking his final form? Dave the manager. Oh no.
You know, he straightens his posture. He gets a tie that's actually like synced up to his neck instead of just hanging there loose. He's got a binder. He steps forward, all intimidating. The characters recoil at his majesty. And then he sighs because he's so overworked now. And now that he's promoted, there's someone to actually run the kitchen, so he's got to fill in.
Oh no. Oh man. I was going to say, and he opens his mouth and sounds exactly the same.
Oh, absolutely.
He still has the braces. Everything's the same. Nothing's changed, really. He just wears a suit to work now.
Exactly. He's got to do all the cooking and the cleaning and file the reports by the end of the day.
Yep. Metal Skulk Bane has a question. Are we sure Maria died? Zero Gravity established birds are alien. Could one save her with DNA transfusion and take blonde girl in blue to space? Unrelated, you can't learn screw attack from birds.
Yes, Maria is dead.
So is this like trying to imply that Maria is actually Samus is actually Maria? Is that what's going on here?
I think that's what the attempt is being. Now I'm imagining a Gamma-styled Various suit.
I mean, that'd be pretty sick, but
I can't quite envision it, but it would. If somebody can make that work, that would be neat looking. Maria rocking an egg tech styled Various suit.
Chaos Wind has a question, and now the time is near, and so you face the final curtain. If the two of you had to pick a final meal, what would it be?
Biggest, most unhealthiest burger you can imagine. Let that kill me first.
Yeah. Jeez. This is hard. A hard choice. Like, yeah, I'll have that similar thing. Just a giant burrito. I'll have a giant, huge, massive burrito. There we go. With all the things that are bad for you. Yeah, why not? Here's one from the Sonic Theorist. Who does Shadow like more, Sonic or Silver?
Trick question. None of the above.
I was gonna say. Doesn't like any of them.
You're really asking whose funeral would I laugh at more?
Probably Sonic's. He's more obnoxious.
It's hard to say because we haven't had a ton of interactions between Shadow and Silver.
Yeah. Maybe that's why.
I mean, they seem to get along well enough after he kicked him in the head.
Yeah, there was that one time, but
maybe he likes Silver. I mean, Silver gets the job done. Silver's not afraid to smash someone into the pavement to get the job done.
Silver mostly just kind of stays in his own lane and leaves him alone, which automatically makes him better than Sonic in Shadow's eyes.
You know, I tried to kill Sonic more than once. We're now besties.
Me and you both, buddy. And yet somehow that blue rat is still here. And we got a question from D Guy. Somehow the two presidential nominees become Nagas and Eggman, with St. John and Starline as their vice presidents, respectively. Whose America is worse, and who are you voting for? You have to pick.
God. Good Lord. Ugh.
I'm writing in Black Doom. Why settle for the lesser evil?
I mean, at least with Eggman's platform, we're going to have renewed infrastructure. All of it becomes a theme park. Half the rides will try to kill you, but, you know, the roads will be paved finally.
Yeah.
It'll be a little glitzier. Everything's day glow. Everything's got neon, but, you know, the power stays on. Jeffrey has a questionable lifestyle record.
Yeah.
And Nagas doesn't understand personal boundaries. So, yeah, all right. I'm voting Eggman.
I mean, wow. This sounds a little too real. Oh, it's a little too real. I mean, if it's Boom Eggman, we might be okay.
I mean, he'd be the less competent option, but also slightly less evil.
The
so,
less,
yeah, okay.
the less destructive, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he probably wouldn't do anything terribly effective. He'd just continue to campaign even after he won because he likes the rallies.
Too real.
Yes, yes. Everybody come shout their praises at me. I'm Mr. President Eggman.
Once
Sir,
again,
are you going to actually enact any of your policies? Sorry, what?
work. What is that? Once again, Ian, too real.
Of course, I guess in that case, that means Vice President Starline is the one who's actually running things behind the scenes, and that's worrisome.
Maybe. If it's Boom Starline, though, then that's slightly less. It takes the edge off a bit.
Just Boom version is better in general.
Yes. Next question is from Sonikai. Knock, knock. Who's there?
Isn't that how I'm supposed to respond? You say knock, knock. I say who's there.
Well, the question is knock, knock. Who's there? I don't know. That's
That's
what they wrote down. That's what they wrote. Yeah. And that's all they wrote, apparently.
Well, who's there? It's the joke. It's dead on arrival.
Yeah. If they just said knock, knock, there'd be no question.
That's true. That is very true.
Unless they ended knock, knock with a question mark. Then maybe that would make it a question.
Then it's kind of philosophical. Knock, knock.
Knock, knock.
Did they knock? Is there a knockage upon the door?
Hmm.
Is anyone there? If someone knocks on the door, does that mean someone is there? If someone knocks on the door and there's no one there to hear it, did they really knock at all? Have we belabored this point to its absolute limit and everyone's just going, move on already? Yes.
Probably.
Yes, I think so.
Probably.
By
Although,
the way,
wait.
I'm not going to knock it.
Okay. But if someone knocks on the door, wouldn't they hear themselves knocking and therefore meaning someone heard it?
This is true. Alternatively, if someone is there and they open it and then they get on the floor, everyone will want that dinosaur.
Oh, right. Got it. Fun Floof the cartoon has a question. Whisker and his crew may be gone, but Johnny's still out there. Near the end of Rush Adventure, he abandons Whisker to save him and his reputation. Could he possibly reappear as a future threat?
Maybe. Plus, they're robots. They might be rebuilt.
I mean, why not? Question from Comic the Hedgehog. Which Sonic villain or anti-hero would be the easiest to defend in court?
There was an old Archie story that I never got to tell where I have no idea where this would have landed. I just had the back pocket idea where Eggman finally gets defeated and captured and put on trial, and Wes Weasley shows up to be his counsel.
Yeah, you've mentioned this before.
But it's been a while, so we'll review.
Yeah.
And like his first defense is that the entire trial should be thrown out because the Eggman Empire does not recognize the validity of any other nation outside of its borders. And that gets thrown out, and I forget what else was on the docket, but finally he just kind of seems to give up for the rest of the trial until the very end, in which case he says, "Objection, Your Honor. My client never actually said I was his client, or he was my client, so he hasn't been represented properly. This trial."
All right. Perfect.
I mean, alternatively, you could have Dr. Starline, and his defense is that he did everything under duress. He was lured in by the genius of that Dr. Eggman. He never actually wanted to do anything wrong. And, it was him or, his life. He had to follow these orders. This vicious madman. He doesn't want to be evil.
Of course
not. Not at all.
Of course not. Of course.
And that's when, Surge kind of kicks in the door and wheels in all the evidence of Starline and his imposter program.
Oh boy.
Done after the fact.
Oh boy.
How did you find this? Your password is password 1, you putz.
Would he actually
Objection, this is incriminating evidence.
Would he actually make his password 1?
Considering how many times people hacked into his system, probably.
You'd think he'd make it just his name. I thought it was actually like a line of 6 stars. Like it wasn't the the 6 stars wasn't his password being obfuscated. It was actually 6 asterisks.
I like that.
It's a line of
canon.
It's a line of stars, literally.
There you go. That's your canon established by the BumbleKast.
Literal line of stars, yes. The obvious password. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. All right, let's hop back over to some super chats for a bit. Sunny Alternativity has a question. What is Mighty the Armadillo's favorite food?
Ooh, I don't know. Trail mix?
Rocks? No, probably not.
I could see him going for a solid omelet.
Mm.
And he would be the type of guy who, he's out camping and he's still going to make a solid omelet.
Yeah.
Not fried eggs, not scrambled. He's going to make you an actual omelet. It's going to be good, too.
I mean, that goes along with Ray's pancakes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Testing has a question. Does Silver have any friends aside from Sonic, Amy, and Blaze? What about in the restoration? Is he pals with Tangle, Whisper, Lanolin before number 63, and Jewel?
Yeah, in general.
They're good work buddies.
Yeah. He's a friendly individual. He likes talking to people. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, we just don't
easy to get along with.
We just haven't seen him do that a lot.
No, but it's a very big cast.
Yeah. Don't always have time to focus on individual interactions between two characters that don't normally interact. Maybe someday, though. Question from Tristan. The Grand Festival for Splatoon 3 was announced. What is the most important to you, past, present, or future? Which team are you, and how would you want it to affect the next Splatoon game if it wins?
For me, it's the present. The past can be learned from, the future can be prepared for to a degree. But all we have is the present. All we can control is ourselves in the here and the now. And that will define our future, and that will prevent us from repeating past mistakes. Do what you can, do what is right now, because that is all you truly have. How it would affect Splatoon, that's different, because you could do all sorts of wild, fun stuff with a past or future motif.
Yeah.
Like, go back to the early Inkling and Octoling Wars and see what, older tech was. Go to the future for some cool cyberpunk dystopia type stuff. Because we've already seen the modern present day with your pop idol gimmick 3 times over. I mean, I'm sure they could figure out a fourth. But in the future or past might put a fun spin on things. I don't know.
Yeah. The real question is, which characters represent which time period?
I have no idea. It's been so long since I've gotten into Splatoon.
Oh, it's present is off the hook? Okay, yeah. All right, I'm with him. Yeah, I love Squid Sisters, but nah, present. All right, there we go. Easy enough. Coffee has a question. Through pure comedy of errors, Merlina's spell goes awry and summons Sans instead of Sonic during the events of Black Knight. What madness ensues? Oh no, not Sans Undertale in Sans in the Black Knight.
It'd be a much shorter game.
Dooba-doop, boop, 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 boop.
I mean, you're going to have false Arthur there and his horrible minions, and Sansa's like, huh, sup? Looks like I'm in for a rough night. And just in the difference, you hear Papyrus going, like, the only reason he doesn't end it then and there is because Merlina does the same thing as with Sonic and just whisks them away, saying they were too powerful. It's like, then why'd you summon me? Or was this a prank call? And then he just kind of casually goes through the other events and like one shots all of the knights. Like, no, don't commit ritual suicide. That's bad for you. I don't want you to get the point. And, confronts Arthur. And just kind of like, boop, takes him out. Must be winter because nightfall came early. And then Merlina pulls her shtick. He's like, you got one over on me. Gonna have to think about this for a spell. Again, in the distance, you just hear Papyrus. And then you get to the Dark Queen fight, and instead of it being this, epic struggle against this massive demonic creature, she's the one on the back foot doing her absolute best to fend off Sans.
The Sans onslaught.
Exactly.
With the Crush 40 version of Megalovania.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
I don't even know what that would sound like, but it sounds pretty sweet.
Great.
The Sans onslaught. The Sans slot. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
He returns back to his normal life, and Papyrus is like, you really seem to get through that one pretty quickly. And Sans like, yeah, I was really booking it.
Oh boy, it's gonna have a bad night. General Jimmy's has a question. Don't rustle those. A phenomenon is taking place where everyone is compelled to break into song and finish. What happens when the song that never ends starts playing? Well, I guess that's how they all die. Singing the song that never ends.
But it never ends. So since they're compelled to sing and dance, they just rise again. Metal Virus 2, musical boogaloo.
Oh no. Oh boy. Question from Sonic Mania 2099. After the clean sweep arc, what will the heroes be serving? Lanolin chops, fried mimic calamari, or roast clutch? Also, don't care what Adam says. Goat Girl had it coming. Rude. What did Lanolin do to you?
I'm going to abstain because I don't want anyone to read into my joke answer and go, "Oh wait, we're actually getting this in the next arc."
No. No. Damnimals BP has a question. Sega and Arc to make a 2v2 fighting game in celebration of Sonic's legacy, featuring game characters, IDW characters, and other Sonic characters, rebooted to fit game continuity. What would pairs and stories would you like to see?
Like Arc Systems works?
I'm assuming Arc Sys works, yeah.
Like the Guilty Gear folks.
Like the Guilty Gear guys, yes.
Ooh, so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 2v2. It's teams of 2.
2v2. Yeah, so.
Oh, goodness.
I guess that's a bit of a Marvel vs. Capcom thing. Oh, MVC was 3 teams of 3, right? I forget. Either way.
Okay. I mean, on the one hand, there's a lot of traditional pairings you could go with.
Mm-hmm.
It's also tempting to kind of mix and match to see something more original.
Would they be paired? Would they be forced pairs, or could you just choose any two, and pair them together? I feel like okay, Marvel vs. Capcom 1 was 2v2. That's right. Okay, so I was on the right track at least. I got there eventually.
I don't know. Kind of depends on what the story itself is. If it's like a crisis event where people are thrown together in the mix, or if it's just a more laid back adventure type of thing. They can go with something a little more traditional, like a Sonic and Tails, Knuckles and Rouge, Shadow and Omega.
Oh, the
irony. Silver and Blaze, Amy and Cream, Big and Infinite.
Wait a minute. I guess you do need someone to make up for Infinite's weakness.
Eggman and Metal Sonic. Sonya and Manic, because they said, other Sonic media.
Why not? Bring them back.
Mighty and Ray, Tangle and Whisper.
Yep.
Rough and Tumble.
Why not? Orbot and Cubot.
Yep.
Surgeon Kit. Did you say that?
Surgeon Kit. No, I didn't, but that works.
Yeah.
Scrapnik, Mecha Sonic, and Mecha Knuckles.
Yes. Oh man, they would be pretty sweet. They would look sweet in that Arc Sys style. Heavy and Bomb. Boy, wow, deep cuts.
Trip and Honey. We could do this all day.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
But we're live, so we should probably
move on. We should probably move on. Yeah. I mean, there's good ideas. I would pay to see an Arc Sys Sonic fighter. Why not? Let's go. OzJam has a question. Deadpool and Wolverine is released. Now, of course, Sonic crossover. Doesn't need to be the film, just what would work with those two Marvel icons.
I've not seen the film yet.
Nope. Neither have I.
But which incarnation of Sonic are we throwing in there? Like, if we're talking modern Sonic, he's going to quip along with Wade. He's going to badger Logan. And he's going to bloodlessly keep up with the fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Movie Sonic? Poor boy needs an adult, and neither of them are appropriate.
Yeah.
Although he would somehow manage to get valuable life lessons from both of them. It would just be in between him kind of cringing and averting his eyes from what they do to other people.
Yeah, I feel like that would be kind of how it works. And question from Hedge. Sega's decided to give the IDW cast voices and ask you for what they should sound like, Ian. Kyle, as Shadow Lord of Sega, you too get a say. Okay.
I actually had someone in mind for Tangle recently. Hold on a second. Let me look this up again because I can't remember voice actors.
I think Ian should voice Starline. Why not? That's easy enough.
Jennie Yokobori for Tangle. I think she could capture that energy and playfulness and just exuberance while also having a range and sincerity to it.
Ah, okay. She does a voice on in Genshin. That's what it is.
I mean, that's where I know her from primarily. I think she's also in the newest. Shoot, what was the name of the company? They debuted it. It's an indie company, or it's a smaller company. I'm pretty sure they do the Shantae series. It's a new kind of Metroidvania-esque looking game. They just announced it on like a Nintendo Direct a few months ago.
Yeah. Well, you're getting a little robot-y, Ian.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yara's Rising. I'm pretty sure she's the lead in Yara's Rising. That's what I was trying to think of.
Oh, okay.
And for Whisper, I don't know. Let's go with Allegra Clark.
Okay.
Like, she can do subtle badass.
Yes. Fill in your cast here, honestly, because I mean, that's going to be the best. All right, question from Potato Chisps. Fun fact: octopus blood is blue because it is copper-based instead of iron. So is Mimic's blood blue? And if the series could show some blood, would that be one of his tells?
Sure, why not?
That's a pretty good one.
It'd even be a nice way to do a deep cut to Deep Space Nine.
Deep
because
cut.
the changelings in that also didn't bleed. So to define themselves as not changeling spies, you had to cut yourself, at least amongst the Klingons.
Deep cut. I see what you did there.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. True Cosmic Digilab 21 has a question. Hey guys, here, tech question. If someone made a biotech nanosystem that Eggman's sealed to use it for his new plan, how will Sonic and the gang handle it?
Well, first thing they're going to do is make sure they're inoculated, because this sounds like Metal Virus 2.0 all over again.
Biotech nanosystem.
Nanomachines, son!
Oh boy.
Or, maybe Eggman's like, you know what? We don't need to do the metal virus again. Maybe these nanomachines just like disassemble mechanical things and reassemble them into egg bots of some kind.
That's kind of cool.
So, he throws a grenade's worth into a car lot and all of a sudden he has an army. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Oh, Evan, can I have the book for a little bit, please?
Save that one for later. Put that in the back pocket. Here's one from Retsupe. Did you know that Silver speaks and acts very rudely in Japanese? Him crossing his legs when he sits is supposed to be a disrespectful gesture there.
And he doesn't act rude or disrespectful in any other media or in any other way throughout the history of the franchise. So I believe that is a narrow reading of some of his tells.
All right. Let's jump back to some standard questions for a little while. Get back into this one with the Saxon. Hey, Ian, I'm struggling with writing. I thought I would ask an experienced writer for answers. How do you write a creepy but actually kind character?
So, let's see. Part of this will be influenced by the general tone of your story. Whether it's a little more lighthearted or a little more grounded. But in general, let's see, your creepy character, what is it about them that makes them creepy? What is it that they do that unsettles the rest of the cast or anyone that they interact with? And if you want them to be seen as kind, and I'm assuming sympathetic, whatever they do that's creepy can't be particularly destructive or harmful. It's one thing to be a little awkward and a little creepy. It's another thing to be a legitimate threat. So, let's see. And part of it is what do they do outside of just being creepy? Like when you see them and their actions, are they encouraging to others? Do they help those in need? Like if just spitballing here, if they are like always surrounded by spiders, which are generally pretty creepy, maybe they're spider-like in their own appearance, but you see them in a moment where there is a bug inside, and instead of stomping on the thing, this character makes pains to ensure that it gets outside safely. It shows the kindness there. Or sleeping dog or cat in his pathway, and he makes a point of walking around them so they're not waking them up. Small acts of kindness. Finds a mitten lost on the sidewalk and hangs up on a tree branch so it's easier to see. Little things like that convey how they are. And maybe it's just their mannerisms. Maybe it's not the best, but appearance does have an influence on how we perceive individuals. So is it how they look? Do they have a nervous tick that kind of unsettles other people that they can't particularly help? And maybe even they're aware of it and a little self-conscious about it, which only makes the tension higher and makes it worse. So that tick happens more. Hard to say without more defining parameters, but that's a few little nuggets of thought to maybe work from. Hopefully, maybe.
Hope that helps. Sacco and Chips has a question. Who made Rocket Metal? He once said that Tails made him, and the wiki says SBO gave Tails the video, but I have no idea where that came from or if that's still the case. I don't know if they meant video or idea.
And see, I don't know either. The idea that Tails made Rocket Metal to spy on the Death Egg 2 is something I remember reading way back in the day. Like early fandom internet days. So I have no idea if that was legitimate or if that was somebody's misinterpretation. Because, a lot of the Japanese exclusive info that was available wasn't necessarily translated accurately or was received accurately. So who knows?
Mm-hmm. All right. Question from Equilibrium. Hyper Cybersonic versus Chaos Dark Boost Dark Hero Super Shadow with no limiters, no time limit for both. They go serious from the start.
It would be very, very flashy.
How many variations can you stack on top of these guys, apparently? I think they can only normally do one of these at a time.
Got an order for Hyper Starfall Supersonic. You want a side of fries with that?
Hyper, Cyber, Chaos, Boost, Dark Hero, Super.
They fuse together and all you get is Adjective the Hedgehog.
How many different forms can you stack before you stop being able to tell what's going on? Syed C has a question. All of Sonic's rivals from different continuities are stuck in a room together. Knuckles, Metal, Shadow, Blaze, Silver, Jet, Sam Speed, Chaos Sonic, Swifty, Scourge, etc. How does it go? Boy, Sonic has a lot of rivals, doesn't he?
I mean, outside of the general troublemakers, I think it'd be generally cordial, especially if, somebody decides to organize it by saying, all right, we're going to have a roundtable discussion. What is the one thing you can't stand about Sonic the most? And that fills the afternoon.
I think so. Yeah, they're stuck in a room together for however long it takes for them to get all their transgressions out about Sonic the Hedgehog. Believe me, they have a lot. Question from Teleporting Lobo. What would Mimic have done after the events of Forces if Whisper had been offed as planned with the team? With the world now free and no one hunting him in vengeance, would he rejoin the heroes?
No, he'd just live out the rest of his life in obscurity.
That was his whole idea? That was his whole plan, was to just do nothing?
Yeah, continue to take jobs as a infiltrator, spy, assassin, but nobody knows who he is. Nobody, wants him for any particular reason personally. So that's it. He's free and clear to just live as he pleases at the expense of others. But
yeah, I guess it's
he's unclear.
I guess it's a good thing that Silver lived, or not Silver. It's a good thing that Whisper lived then. So that way he has a point to existing. And we got this question here from Uncle Venus. Unbeknownst to you, an evil wizard curses you so that you can never open a big jar, but the next person you hand it to will get it in one twist. How do you react to this phenomena over time?
Oh, I've been frustrated with this for years. Thank you for answering that one. For pity's sake.
Does it matter who you hand it to? They get it in one?
Yeah.
Always.
So I look like an absolute phoebe the entire time. You're a small child. There it goes. Every time. Every time.
Just remember, Ian, you got it started.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. Loosened it for you.
You loosened. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Michael B has a question. Hey, Ian, I recently became an uncle and was wondering how Eggman reacted to the birth of Sage. Did he go full Mize Hughes, running around and showing off PNGs of her to anyone he could accost?
Well, first off, congratulations. Secondly, no, he doesn't go full Mize Hughes because who is he going to show the photo to? Yeah,
Or
all he
button.
has is enemies.
Orbot and Cubot.
Yes, boss, you've uploaded that to us 3 times today already. Ooh, and it's not even 8 o'clock.
Metal Sonic.
Metal Sonic's just booking it along, chasing Sonic down. PNG of Sage pops up in his visual file. He runs into a wall.
No.
Now, this sounds more like a Boom Eggman thing, let's be honest.
I mean, yeah.
Full-scale invasion of the island. Everyone gets locked away in these electro pins. It's the most competent and effective and proactive thing Eggman's ever done. Now that I have your attention, everyone, look at my little girl. Isn't she just so precious? Look at her little shoes.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right, let's move back over to some super chats for a bit and try to get through as many of those before we end here. Andrew B has a question. Dr. Eggman is looking for inspiration from history for his evil plots, and he happens to read The Power Broker. What is his reaction to Robert Moses?
I don't know.
I'm unfamiliar with
Likewise.
the Power Broker. Sounds
it rings a bell. It feels like one of those things everyone just kind of knows, and I'm like nodding along, going, "Yes, very insightful. I'm well read. Yes, of course."
I mean, it sounds kind of familiar, I guess. I don't know. I'm just here.
Well read in literature that matters to the masses? No. We're talking comics. Yes.
Yes, comic books. Yes.
Sorry, I got nothing.
Sorry. We're no fun. The Shadow Broker? The Power Broker? I don't know, man. I'm just here. Emil C has a question. How does Silver time travel if Mephiles died?
That is something I can't answer right now.
When a hedgehog gets up to 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious stuff, all right? Here's one from Slashy. Tails sucks now. All right, well, that's your opinion, man. When was Tails at his best, and what is the way to get him back there?
I feel like that's highly subjective.
When was Tails at his best compared to now? Like, why does Tails suck now? I'm confused.
Tails was at his best when you were happiest with him.
When was
will
that?
he get back that way? Whenever you feel like he has.
When was Tails at his best? I don't know. Maybe in Sonic 3 when you could finally control his flight. Maybe that's when he was at his best. Maybe he was at his best when he was Titan Tails.
No. Pretty definitive no.
Maybe he was at his best when he was the chosen one that never went anywhere.
No,
that was bad. That was bad. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Also, should mention, since we have switched over to Superchats, and this probably be what we'll end with, we are closing off questions for tonight. If you do end up sending Superchats, they'll be pushed off into a future episode, so keep that in mind. We're going to get through as many of these as we can, so keep on going. So just so you're aware, any future Superchats will go into an upcoming BumbleKast episode. Slashy has a question. Nope. We just did that one, Kyle. Blue 4 has a question. I'm in the mood for deep cut crossovers, so which one would you want to see the most? Knuckles and Conan the Barbarian? Mighty and Flash Gordon? Tangle and Xena Warrior Princess? Or Silver and Highlander?
Knuckles and Conan.
Conan.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they would bro it up real easy.
Tangle and Xena would be fantastic, though.
It would be fun. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Knuckles and Conan just like, hey, Crom, show me where the Master Emerald pieces are. And if not, to hell with you.
Yeah.
Drive the badniks before you. Hear the limitations of their processors.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that would be pretty sweet, too. Bladed Fox 14 has a question. What nicknames would Fang come up with for the Diamond Cutters and the Neo Diamond Cutters?
Let's see. For the Neo Diamond Cutters, we would have Fussy Fluff. Stretchy. What do we call it? Okay, well, we'll come back to Tangle. Whisper is Squinty.
Rude.
Tangle is you hyperactive, bouncing something.
So and so.
Maybe Bean has to cut him off. They're like, whoa, boss, bring it back a bit. Duo is Sir.
Sir.
Because he knows, and he is not going to cross that line.
Oh, no.
And for the original Diamond Cutters, the Corpse Brigade.
All of them? Just all together? Corpse Brigade. I see what you did there. Rude. You're the rude one, Ian Flynn.
Oh, super rude.
Yeah.
It's because I cross my legs all the time, you know.
Yeah, just like Silver.
Mm-hmm.
Question from Jams. How would things have gone differently if just a guy Mike, Comedy Chimp, and Dave found Emerald on the beach instead of Sonic and Co?
Oh, no. Oh, no. The poor boy. He's going to be a washed up, attempted stand-up comic who just has to work the awful shifts at Madburger.
What is this? Boom Battle?
Oh, God. That's a worse fate than he had in the regular game.
Oh, no. Poor guy. Oi. Boy. Question from Just Burb. Good news! Sega and all companies give you complete control over merch creation. What wacky action figures, creations, and plushies do you make?
Oh my God, we're going to go out of business so fast. There is no budget consideration.
Money, what's
Absolutely none.
This is why you don't work in that industry.
Like, you're going to get your Mighty Max / Polly Pocket islands of South Island, West Side Island, Angel Island, and Little Planet, and you crack it open, and they're like little recreations of the zone with micro figures of signature characters. So you get like a little Sonic and a little Green Hill and a little Tails and like Chemical Plant, little Knuckles in the Sky Sanctuary, little Amy Rose in Collision Chaos, maybe. You're getting more merch. You get a Tangle Tail styled scarf. Gonna get a Whisper mask styled visor and full costuming too. Like, you know, actually get the mask, because why not? You know, your own little variable Wispon. I don't know if it can transform, obviously, but maybe it lights up in his colors and sounds. Comes with your own little bandolier, little plush or holographic wisps to run around with. You get your own Amy hammer. You want your Amy hammer? You get your Amy hammer. It has sound effects. You hit things that goes Pico. You're welcome. You really want to spend some money? Are you one of them high roller Sonic fans? Full Angel Island recreation replica. This thing takes up your garage. Okay?
Why is it so huge?
Because you. It's like that Nickelodeon gack. It's just red colored, so it's still goopy.
My bad. I apparently accidentally hit the button to make the music come back on. My bad.
Oops.
My bad.
Did we lose anything?
I think he lost. Oh, it's still going for them. They missed the Angel Island bit. Oh man.
Are we back to normal?
I think we're back. Yeah, we're back.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, as I was saying, if you're a high roller, if you really want that high-end collectible, full-scale Angel Island, all right?
Yes.
This thing takes up your garage. You can open it up, bilaterally so that you have all the internal zones. This thing is built to scale with the Jax figures. This thing will probably cost you a mortgage, but it's worth it because every zone is there.
Apparently they got cut off at, why is it so huge? That's my question. Why is it so huge?
Okay. I've had this vision in my head for years, dude. I can recite it repeatedly. We had our one Eggmobile with various attachments to it. That was awesome. Whole line of that. Every Eggmobile boss configuration, you get to collect it all, build it all, stage it all. All the figures, just all the figures. You like a Sonic character in the games, in the comics, wherever, all the figures. And I'm not just limited to IDW. The classic collection, the vintage collection, the nostalgia collection, whatever you want to call it. Freedom Fighters, both versions, Sat AM, post reboot, whatever. Fleetway, we got you covered. Get your Technos, get your Short Fuse. Everybody gets a figure. You will need another wing of your house to house all the toys, and I am still not satisfied. Full-on Eggmobile decals for your car. Make your car look like an Eggmobile.
Yeah.
Variable uploads to your horn so it plays the different Eggman themes when you beep it. Live stage shows in the style of the Splatoon cast or the Sonic cast. The Miku live concerts, holographic projections. Have a rotating series of bands. So you got Sonic's old band, the whole band got back together. You got the Chaotix in there. Have Miku show up as like the reason why people go there initially. I don't know. And this is just the merch, so I won't go into the video games, but
no, that's so many. But this
I'm forgetting something.
This is supposed to be complete control over merch anyway, not the games.
Yeah. Build your own Chow Garden, like full diorama sets, individual Chow pieces, individual like feet and wings and heads and hats and whatever that you can plug on your individual Chow, pose them in different ways, fully customizable. And not just like your hero garden, your dark garden, your normal garden. I mean, gardens for every freaking zone, just so you can just pay homage to the entire history of Sonic. That's the other wing of your house.
There you go. All right, Ian, I got to cut you off here because we still got 11 questions to get through.
And I still have like 11 more products I could do. So yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on. Doomed Gundam has a question. Ian, I know you're hip with the kids, but can you do a kickflip with a fingerboard?
Of course I can. Just you can't see me because there's no camera.
Can you do a kickflip with a regular board?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
2x4, 4x6, oak, mahogany. That board, sure, absolutely. All right. Kicking and flipping.
Kicking and flipping all over the place. Nice.
Flip it off. I can do it all.
Or a Warrior 13 has a question. What would a Magical Girl Amy Rose spinoff be like?
Fun.
Like a solo Amy Rose game? Like, I mean, that's pretty much what it would be, isn't it?
All right, now if we're gonna go full magical girl, make it a spinoff.
Okay, fine.
That way you're not like held back by the rules of modern Sonic. Let Amy star and set the tone for the whole thing.
Is there a whole magical girl team along with Amy?
Absolutely. I mean,
be.
we've already got Unicorn Cream out of the racing game. Let her be, the Chibi Moon to this.
Cool.
Throw in Blaze. She's already a magical girl. Put in Rouge to add some spice to the mix. Who else? Trip. Yeah, Trip. There you go.
Trip.
She's a little out of place because when she does her transformation, she's fully armored. She looks more like a Gundam than a magical girl, but, she makes it work.
That makes it even better.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, yes. The answer to this is all yes. All right, and here's one from Niche XCC 1900. Is Sega's future plans for Amy to turn her into a generic Western-style girl boss?
No.
I mean, I don't know. Why not? Or why? I don't know. I'm lost. Next question, Chaos Sonic 1. Adventures of Catella would have married Robotnik if it wasn't for Mama Robotnik. So what would have happened if Mama Robotnik didn't interfere?
They would have gotten married.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
And their children would have been horrible.
Well. Yeah. Yeah. That's terrifying. Metamode has a question. Would you say Silver has stauncher morals than Sonic?
When you say stauncher, do you mean less malleable or more clearly defined?
Like, would he be... Is he less willing to compromise his morals than Sonic would be? Maybe it's...
I wouldn't say so, because they live by their own personal codes. I mean, if anything, we've seen Silver wrestle with the morality of just murking somebody for the greater good.
True.
But he still seemed pretty committed to it twice over. Sonic had to be saved twice from Silver. And the only reason Silver really stopped was he was told, oh, wait, I don't have to murk Sonic. Okay. It wasn't that it's wrong to do it. It's that you don't have to do it. That was the escape clause. So.
All right. Well, you know what? Silver would kill a person. Why not?
For the greater good.
Well, yeah, but still. Does he have stauncher morals or starchier morals?
I'll staunch the blood flow. Smash.
Oh, ouch. Big oof. And here's one from a normal person. Jewel and Lanolin somehow the BumbleKast. How would they fare in answering questions ranging from Sonic lore to the more kooky Bumble stuff? Also, like, I don't know if they meant to say somehow the BumbleKast, but that's what they wrote. So
I think Jewel would do her level best to run the show, and she and Lanolin know enough about Sonic offhand to maybe have a bit of trivia, but they're still fairly new to this crazy world that he's living in all of his adventures, so they don't know as much as maybe somebody else. So they're kind of hemming and hawing, and they'll have to reference it later. Maybe ask Amy, and then you get into the really goofy stuff, and Jewel's flustered because she cannot improv, and Lanolin's too literal minded, so she doesn't get the joke. Only it's less awkward and embarrassing like it is for me. It's more just like she's kind of shrugs and goes, sorry, I don't get it.
Yeah. Would either of them be able to wrangle the Bumble crew? Could they handle could they handle the Bumble mods?
They'll answer to Lanolin, or they'll regret it.
Uh-oh. Well, their excuse could be, hey, we don't get paid.
And Lanolin says, yes, you're volunteers. Here's your schedule.
The question is, which one of them is the singer? Neither, I'm gonna say.
Maybe they're both just adequate shower singers.
Okay. All right. We still got like 6 questions. We'll power through them. This one's from OmniHog. The main IDW cast has a mint intervention for Tails. How does it go?
He doesn't have a problem. He just enjoys mint. It's a candy. You can't be addicted to candy. Why? Where'd you put the bag?
You can't be addicted to candy.
He bought it himself. You can't take his property like that. Give him back the bag.
Rude.
Okay, look, we thought there's no reason to be upset about that. Spin dash to the face.
Oof.
5 minutes later, and there's bodies on the floor, and he's just popping mints. Shouldn't have taken my bag, man. I don't have a problem. I just solved the problem.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem anymore. Oh, boy. Chaos, Dust, and Steam has a question. Hello, it's my birthday tomorrow. Oh, happy birthday. This question may be a landmine, but I am asking it anyway. Have you ever heard of Thomas the Tank Engine? If so, I wonder what the Sonic Cast reaction would be to it.
Number 1, happy birthday. Number 2, I am passingly familiar with Thomas and his mini talking trains.
Oh, I've heard of him. He was around when I was a kid, at least.
Yeah, it's an older franchise.
He's been around for a long time.
There's planes too, aren't there? There's like a whole spin-off.
I think there's a whole bunch of stuff. Yep.
Are there boats?
Maybe. I don't know. There's all sorts of like spin-off things with those with the faces.
I mean, Tails would wonder how the animatronics work on these things because they're very advanced.
Yeah.
Sonic, who has seen pretty much everything, is like, all right, that's a radical train.
I see what you did there. Ah!
And Amy looks over at her car, Breeze, and says, are you guys related at all?
Yeah. Good question. Those trains are very loaded. This is a very loaded question. Question from Allison S. How envious is Omega of Cheese's kill count?
It's a running tally still. They check in every Wednesday to make sure that, where each other is so far.
Yeah. They keep each other honest.
How are you ahead by 6? This was only a week ago.
1 a day, buddy. Dimitri M has a question. Any chance we'll see Marine again? I need to know what those water powers are, if they are even water powers. Don't think that was explained.
It was not. I want it explained. It would be nice.
Who could do
she
it,
might
Ian?
pop up. She might pop up in the comics one day. I don't know. Beyond that, I've got no idea.
Do you know the hashtag of knowing smiling is?
I know it. It doesn't apply here.
Okay. Ogre Sonic has a question. What do you think is the difference between Sonic Snark and Colors and Boom or IDW?
In Colors, I think you can make an argument that it's a little lighter, a little jokier. Boom is a little drier.
Oh, yeah.
A little more sarcastic. And IDW somewhere in the middle. It's just he also has occasion to be a little more petty, but that's very specific, like against Zavok. And Zavok deserves it, so.
All right, we're at the last question for this episode. It's from Cadent Clock 39. Obviously, they're brothers, but to say one Father's Day, Tails gifts Sonic a card for basically being a father figure, being practically raised by Sonic, according to Amy. How go?
Well, Sonic's going to look it over and he's going to totally be cool with it. He's, it's really touching. Yeah. He's cool with it. He's perfectly. No, he's cool. You want to go for a run?
Sonic's
Nice run.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
No, he really does appreciate. No, he just has something in his eye. All right, he's got very big eyes. Things get it all the time. Like all words on these cards.
What a wholesome way to end the BumbleKast. That's weird. How can we end this wholesomely, Ian? That's very strange.
I mean, do you want me to make it bad?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, then we'll leave it there.
Yes, I'm just saying. That's a strange way to end a BumbleKast, but I'll take it.
Thank you again to Jennifer R. and Professor Rye for managing all these questions. Thank you to Kazi for managing the social medias, for letting you guys know when this is and how we're doing it. Thank you all for all of your questions, for consistently filling the 2-hour block and then some month to month. Thank you, everyone, for your super chats, for supporting the show and making this such a success that it is. It still boggles the mind. I'm still very thankful for it. And thank you, Kyle, for always being there here on the BumbleKast.
And thank you, Ian, for always having me here on the BumbleKast.
So be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time for the next BumbleKast.
Catch you next time, whenever that will be. It'll probably be Wednesday. Bye.